Alrighty, here we get ready to go. Here we go. Okay, make sure all my stuff is ready to go here for you guys. Giving everyone a few minutes to join in if they need to. Do 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 do. All right, so we got that. We got this. All right, that looks pretty good. Like that. All right, well, welcome to Riverfront Stadium, October 18th, 1970, for game number 7. There's nothing better than game number 7 in sports. So, two equal teams slugging it out, and it comes down to one final game to determine the winner. In this case, we're determining the winner of the World Series from 1970 between the Cincinnati Reds and the Baltimore Orioles. Before I start, I did get a question by Clinton Parks in our from one of our previous videos about where I got the charts and the files to do the World Series. And so I'm just going to show you guys real quick. If you guys are on Facebook and you subscribe to the Status Pro Advance site and they accept you, then you'll have access to all kinds of questions, and the owner of the site, his name is, where is he? Good question. Derek. Sorry, couldn't remember his name. Derek Breckner. He's always updating with different files and rosters and doing a great job. So if you like Status Pro Baseball and you're interested in it, subscribe to Status Pro Baseball Advance. You can see there's a file section over here on the left-hand side. If you click on it, there's all kinds of different files you can download. And I believe this is where I got all of the files and charts and everything for the game. You see he's working on his 4th edition and updating all kinds of different things. So plus I believe if you go to more, there's more down here. Let's see, this one here, the Rules 2013 zip file from October 3rd, 2016. We'll have all the charts, and I think this is the one that has the 1970 World Series players cards as well. But you can download all this stuff. Status Pro Advance, great Facebook page. Lots of good members there asking questions if you're not sure about something. And yeah, so I just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention in case you guys were interested in playing some Status Pro Baseball yourselves. So we are in October 18th. We have game number 7. We got a few lineup changes. Today's pitching matchup is for the Baltimore Orioles, Jim Palmer. Jim Palmer, who started game number 4 and started the streak for the Orioles. He will be facing off against the ace for the Reds, Gary Nolan. So it's a rematch of game number 4, although there are some player switches. So Merv Rettenmund, left fielder, will be batting first today. Mark Bellinger drops down to second in the lineup. The shortstop, Boog Powell. First baseman batting third. Frank Robinson, the right fielder, batting fourth. Paul Blair, center fielder, batting fifth. Brooks Robinson, third baseman, batting sixth. Davy Johnson, second baseman, batting seventh. Andy Etchenberry, the catcher, and Jim Palmer on the hill for Baltimore. Some lineup changes as well for the Reds. Leading off today, Pete Rose in right field. Bobby Tolan in center field, Tony Perez at third, Johnny Bench the catcher, Lee May at first base, Hal McRae in left field, Tommy Helms at second base, Dave Concepcion the shortstop, and then Gary Nolan the pitcher. Both of these pitchers are coming off 4-day rest as they pitched on October 14th. So you can see it's now the 18th, game number 7. So if you notice that on the card set that comes with the download, now not all card sets have this, but in this card set it does have a rest, how many games they need in between starts. There are 3 games in between starts. In this case, there is only 2 games since both of these pitchers pitched game 4. So they're coming off of short rest, obviously 4 days. They did have a day off and such. So we'll see how that plays out as we go into and start up the game here. So a couple things of note. I was able to take the Z chart and basically convert it into a PDF for myself instead of using Microsoft Word. So that's all ready to go. I also converted the ballpark charts into a PDF. Just took the images, obviously, and then altered the images into a PDF file. So I have those all ready to go with the rest of my charts, which are all PDF files as well. So just a side note there. All right, so we are actually going to be at Riverfront Stadium, 1970 here. We're going to be checking to see what kind of pitching outing we are going to have today. I debated about how to do this since both pitchers are coming off a short rest. There are some rules in the rule book for this, but because this is a special situation, this is Game 7 of the World Series, obviously both teams are going to want to put out their number 1 starters, even if they're coming off a short rest. So because of that, I'm giving each of the pitchers a -10 to their roll. -10 to the roll. So they're not going to get a PB, I'm sorry, a +10, not a -10, a +10 to the roll. So the chances of them having a very exceptional outing obviously are not going to happen. They have a chance of getting, actually I'm going to give them, let's see, where are we? We're at Riverfront Stadium. So what I'm going to say is, instead of giving them a +10, what I'm going to say is the most they can get is a PB of +1. So even if they roll, say, 11, 12, 13, or 14, they're only going to get a PB1 because they're coming off a short rest. They're not going to have that great a day. So 1d6, I got to add in my dice here. So we'll do light green. We'll do a 1d6 and add in dark green. We'll do a 1d8. We'll make that red. 1d8. We'll make that yellow. And Beatles Eternally is in the house. How we going, Beatles Eternally? Nothing better than game number 7. Game 7 of a World Series. We just had 2 World Series. In fact, we just had one just a couple weeks ago. Game number 7 for Dodgers Astros. Nothing better, eh? All right, so Riverfront Stadium. We'll do the visiting pitcher, Jim Palmer, first. Beals Eternally says, yes, game number 7. Here we go, Jim Palmer. Let's find out what kind of outing he's going to have today. He is a 62, so just normal. And Gary Nolan, the hometown hero, let's see what he gets. 32, he's just normal too. Okay, good. I was hoping one team would not have the advantage. I'm not a big fan of that rule, to be honest. I understand what they're trying to do, and that, every pitcher should have some kind of variation. They're not going to always be the same, but I hate to give one team, like, if Gary Nolan has a really good outing and his stats go way up, then he's got a kind of an unfair advantage. Not that it's, that way, but all bets are off here in game number 7. All pitchers, all hitters, everyone's available. And we are getting ready to start here. Merv Rentenmund against Gary Nolan. Make sure that we don't have anything else. As I mentioned, I'll show you this, guys, one more time since I know Beatles Eternally just joined us here. If you go to Status Pro Advanced on Facebook, you subscribe. Uh, they're usually pretty good about joining or letting you join the group. Once you join the group, you'll have access to a file section over here, and you can download all kinds of different files that you can then use, different charts, all kinds of things. And in fact, the Rules 2013 zip file from Derek Breckner here is the one that actually has the 1970 World Series files for you if you want to do that. So just a heads up for everyone out there. Once again, if you're interested in this system, definitely pick it up, try it out. You can buy a lot of season files online. I've gotten quite a few myself. Download them, cut them out, print them out, and then you'll be ready to go. Here's some of my hard work I've got going on here. I got the Status Pro Baseball 2016 season, and I'm thinking about doing a replay of the not the Cincinnati Reds, the Cleveland Indians from 2016. I also have the 2013 season set, which I'm thinking about doing some replays of that series, that season as well. I also have the 2002 or 2000, I forget. I think it's 2002. Oh, Beatles Eternally says it's a small world. I know Derek Breckner. You know Derek Breckner. Well, then, good for you. Tell him thank you for all of his hard work. I do appreciate it. Keeping Status Pro Baseball. I love the system. It's really good. It's really quick. It's fun. It's interesting. So I'm a big fan. Got nothing but positive things to say about it, especially since Derek Breckner's actually uh, got the advanced. I don't like just basic roll the dice and get the results. He's kind of incorporating a lot of new and interesting things in the system. So highly recommend Status Pro Advanced. But there's our cards. We've been busy cutting things out. As you can see, here's just the Dodgers stack. Quite a few cards for just one team. I say there's about 30 to 50 players per team. It's a lot of cutting, But I love how they turned out, and looking forward to using some actual um, cards and dice as opposed to the computer cards and dice. Anyways, we've given people plenty of time to join up. I know I'm running this a little early. It's just 12 o'clock p.m., but it's a day game here in Riverfront Stadium, and the crowd is still coming to the ballpark here, it looks like. He and I worked at Penn State. Yeah, I think he still works at Penn State because his email address is for Penn State. Because I emailed him a couple questions or some. I was talking to him about getting some of his season sets. So yeah, he's still got a was it a psu.edu email account. So I don't know if he still works there, but he's still got a email address for Penn State anyways. So excellent. Beatles Eternally worked with Derek Breckner. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, maybe you know more about this than I do, Beatles, but I believe Status Pro Baseball was created a while ago, and then it kind of went dead for a while. And I believe he was the one that I don't know if he originally created the system and then brought it back, or if he got the system and bought the rights to it. I'm not sure how that all worked out, but um, he's the one that's been working on it for the last 20 years, I guess, trying to get it back to. Because if you look at the original cards and stuff, they're just kind of really, really generic. Yeah, yeah, he is a huge baseball fan. Yeah, seems like it. He is dedicated, and I love that. I love the fact that he's putting a lot of effort into it. He's doing some, like I said, lots of updated charts. Not only does he just put the charts out, he puts the charts out and he asks people, "What do you think of this chart?" And then he gets feedback from people, and a lot of players test him out and look and see, what kind of how the charts work. Some of the charts that I'm actually using are from the 2013 edition of the rules, because I kind of like I like those charts a little bit better. Like this one here, for example, is the base running chart. I do like this chart a lot. There's an updated version of this chart, which I don't use because I like this chart even better. But so there's lots of variations for you guys out there. If you don't like certain things, there's plenty of different charts to use, and it definitely seems like it's you know, uh, uh, I was going to say a work in progress. But that's not really what I'm talking about. It's not really a work in progress. It's more of a passion of love, I guess, is a better way to put it. All right, so we are off and running here. Merv Rettenmund. All things are off. All bets are off here. This is game number 7. All pitchers available. All batters available. And away we go. Gary Nolan, Merv Rettenmund. First pitch of the game. Here it comes. That is a 7 against the righty, so that's going to be off of Nolan. 24 is a G6 for Merv Rettenmund. G6 out. One away, Mark Bellinger, the hero of game number 5 against Gary Nolan. One away, top of the first. That's a 5 against the righty, so it's coming off of Nolan's card. 46. 46 is an out. Right-hander is an RN. So it's a 78 RN is going to be an F8. F8. Two-way here for Bog Powell. I'm probably still pronouncing his name wrong. Clark Rotz, hello. Oh, hello, hello. Hope your day is going well. We have got game number 7. Nothing better in sports than a game number 7 if you're talking about hockey or baseball. Game number 7s are awesome. I love them. Here we go. That's an 11. 11's coming off of Powell. 38 against the right-hander. 38 is a strikeout. 37 would have been a deep ball, but nope, it's a strikeout. Got under that one. It went high, high in the sky and lands in the center fielder's glove, Bobby Tolan. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Gary Nolan, and the Reds are up to bat. So, what the heck? I step away for a day or so, and we go from a potential. Yeah, I know. I was just talking about that at the end of last game when they tied it up. They had the brooms out not just a couple days ago, and now we have a game number 7. That is right. Cincinnati Reds jump out to a 3-0 game start, and they go for the sweep in Baltimore and don't get it. And then the Fighting Orioles come all the way back. Game number 5, if you have not seen game number 5, I highly, highly recommend you watch game number 5. That was probably the best game of the series so far. It came down to the final pitch to determine the winner. I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen it. Ken Castro is in the house. Everyone say hello to Ken Castro. We've got game number 7 going on. We are in the bottom of the first inning. Here we go. Pete Rose, Jim Palmer, and Gary Nolan, the aces of the staff, are out there for game number 7. Here we go. It was a 1-2-3 inning to start, and we have Jim Palmer. That's a 5. 5 is going to come off of Palmer's card. 22 against, he's going to bat left-handed. 22 is going to be a strikeout. So Pete Rose down on strikes. That brings up Bobby Tolan. So yeah, what the heck? I step away for a day or so. We go from a potential sweep to a game number 7. That is correct. You got to come back every day and watch what happens. Here we go. We got a doubles, so we're going to be checking for an error after the end of the play. That is a 9. That's coming off of Tolan's card, and it's a 66, which is going to be against a righty. Is going to be an out. What kind of out is it? He's an LN. That is a 13 LN. That's a liner to the pitcher, L1. Jim Palmer, let's find out if he drops it or not. Jim Palmer error rating is E4. E4 is 11 to 43 is an error. 11 to 43 is an error. Here we go. That's a 77, no error, as Palmer reaches up, snags the ball out of midair, off the end of his glove, and flips it up in the air and catches it. No error on the play. That is an L1 for Bobby Tolan. Two-way here in the bottom of the first. Palmer gets a big smile, lets his manager know he's okay after that hot shot. Two-way here, bottom of first. That is a 5 against the righty. That's coming off of Palmer's card. 63 is an out. And he's an RP. RP of 47. It's going to be a G6. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for both teams. No runs, no hits, no errors. And we're in the top of the second inning. Frank Robinson's bat has come alive the last couple games. He almost hit for the cycle, game number 5, I believe it was. He was a home run short of it. Here we go. That is a 12. We're going to be doing a CD check, so that's a clutch defense. 76 will tell us who it was hit to. He's an RP, 76. That's a center fielder. Center fielder for the Reds is Bobby Tolan. His clutch defense is a 3. So clutch defense of 3 for the outfielder. And I'll slide this chart over. I don't normally, oops, I did not want to do that. Sorry. Clutch defense, here we go. I don't need it so big. Thank you very much. Okay, clutch defense for the outfielder. He is a 3 we just looked at, so we're going to be rolling on the 3 column. That is a 68. 68 says gap shot rolls all the way to the wall in the left field. Double, runners advance. Double? Oh, it's a double. Runners advance 2 base. Center field, right fielder, triple. All runs score. It was hit to, what do we say? It was the center fielder. Let's see. I have to remember what we were checking here. It was this one, and he was a. Sorry, guys. Forgot what we were doing here. Yeah, it was Bobby Tolan, center field. So it was a center field shot. So he rolled a 68, which is gap rolls all the way in the wall, left field, double. If it's a center field or right field, it's a triple, all run and score. So a triple into center field as it rolls all the way to the wall. And that brings Frank Robinson once again with the triple. And we'll color code this. So if you guys have a new color coding system here, so yellows will be hits, grays will be strikeouts, oranges will be walks. So it'll be a little easier. I know it's probably hard to see all the little text that I have on the screen, so I'm trying to color code things so you can quickly see. So a triple for Frank Robinson to start off the second inning. And they got something going here. 1 run could be all they need with Palmer on the hill. Let's see. That brings up, who's up? That brings up Paul Blair. I keep calling him Blaird, but his name is just Blair. Once I call him Blaird, he got himself a double last time up. Let's see what happens. That's a 7 against the right-hander, so it's coming off of Nolan. 62 is an out. Let's find out what kind of out it is with the runner at third. That is a 37, RN 37. That's a G5A, runner on third. And that's a 5-3, and the run from third comes home. So it is just going to be a G5. And run come home. And anytime we have a run scored, I make that bold so it stands out a little bit more. So run RBI single, or not single, RBI for Paul Boyd, and the Orioles jump out to a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second inning. One away for Brooks Robinson. That's a 6 against the righty, so it's coming off of Nolan's card. 55 is an out. He's an RP, so we got to find out what kind of out he is. That is a 51 RP is a G6. So G6, and brings up Davey Johnson, 2 away here in the bottom of the second inning. That is a 10, so it's coming off of Johnson's card. 44 against a right-hander. 44 is a walk. So Davey Johnson with the walk down to first. That brings up Andy Etchenbarren. Andy Etchenbarren, 2 away. Do they intentionally walk him to get to Palmer? Do they want to give up another walk? Oh, that is a walk. So that, oops, come on, get off of there. So that is going to be orange. So that's a walk. Etchenbarren. He's pretty good against right-handers. They are going to intentionally walk him to set up, oops, and just set it up for Palmer here. Palmer is not horrible. 11-13 gives him a single. 14-15 is a deep shot. But Cincinnati rolling the dice here. Rolling the dice here in the second inning. Let's see what happens. That is an 8. Uh-oh. That could have backfired. 8 against the right-hander. It's coming off of Palmer's card. 16. Oh, almost. He whiffs, and the almost backfired. Whew. If you're a Reds fan, you have to be. That was a 0. So they have 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and after 1.5 complete, Baltimore 1, Cincinnati 0. That brings up Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench versus Jim Palmer. That's a 7 against the righty, so off of Palmer's card. 76 is an out. He's an RP, and he rolled a 41, which gives him an L5 result. L5. Oop. 1 away for Lee May. Lee May's had a home run in game number 6 of the series. 5? 4? I can't remember. One of the games. 7, so that is coming off of Palmer's card. 26 is going to be a G6. Good thing that came off of Palmer's card. 26 off of Lee May's card would have been a home run. That brings up Hal McRae. Gutsy chance there, Beatles Eternal. Yep, they were. I mean, all bets are off. You gotta think out of the box and just do what's best to keep every run off the board here in game number 7. Hal McRae's a righty. It is a 6. So it's coming off of Palmer's card. 37 is a strikeout. So another 1, 2, 3 inning. And dare we say it, Palmer's got a no-hitter going after 2 innings. That brings up Merv Rettenmund, grounded to short his first time up against Gary Nolan, who's only given up 1 hit. Happened to be a triple, though. 62 is, or 6 and 2 is 8. So it's going to be off of Rettenmund. 35 against the right-hander. That is going to be a double into the right field corner. Bounces around. Pete Rose finally gets it. Throws it into second. The tag is applied, but not in time as Merv Rettenmund gets a double for the Orioles to start off the inning. And now they've got another thing going here in the third inning. Mark Bellinger. Mark Bellinger. Hang on. Let's see. Merv Rettenmund is actually a A-minus Steeler. Gary Nolan is a B-hold. I'm actually going to color code these for you guys at home. So that's their hold ratings for the pitchers, B and B minus. And then the catchers, we'll color code those as well. We'll use green there. So Etchenbaron's a B and Johnny Bench is an A+. So those are the things you want to take into consideration, not only just your runner's speed, but the pitcher's hold rating and also the catcher's throw rating. Does Merv Rettenmund... no. He's going to stay right where he's at. He's got a double. I forgot that. All right, so... all right, getting too excited here. All right, settle down. Whew. Game number 7. They do that to you, huh? All right, Bellinger, the hero from game number 5. What a game that was. That's a 12. We got a clutch defense. RN clutch defense 75. RN 75 is going to be right field. So the right fielder is Pete Rose. His clutch defense is a 3. Same thing, we're going to use that clutch defense chart and find out. Pete Rose, it's hit over towards the line. Pete Rose on his horse. It's an 11. You don't get much lower than an 11. So 11 to 13 is a great catch of a sinking line drive. Pete Rose makes a dive on the line. And the lead runners doubled off trying to return back to first base. Or I'm sorry, back to second base. As Pete Rose makes an outstanding play in right field. And he is... I'm going to put this down as a clutch defense for player number 9 for an out. Pete Rose doubling off the runner from second as Merv Rettenmund was already at third base when he makes the catch, guns it over there in time. Rettenmund doubled off, and Pete Rose clears the base paths of Orioles. That could be big. That could be a big play right there. That brings up Powell here. That's a 7 against the lefty, so it's coming off of Nolan's card. 71 is an out. He is an LP against left-handers. LP. And the 17 is going to be a G3. So G3 out. And they do get a second hit, but Pete Rose gunning out Merv Rettenmund on a base blundering error costs Baltimore dearly there. And we go into the bottom of the third inning already, cruising right along. Tommy Helms against Jim Palmer. So far, a great defensive game, perfect for Game 7, says Beatles eternally. Yes, sir. Here we go. That is an 8. That's coming off of Helms' card. 55 against the right-hander is an out. What kind of out is it? He is an RN of 54. That is a G6. So G6. That brings up Dave Concepcion, who really is had a really good series. He's had a hit in every game so far. That's a 10. So it's coming up for Concepcion, right-hander 37. Right-hander 37 is strikeout. And I forgot to color code the strikeouts. I apologize to all my friends out there. We should have some gray ones here for strikeouts. There we go. So 2 strikeouts apiece. That brings up Gary Nolan. I'm just going to use his card from up here because I forgot to put it down there. So it's Gary Nolan and Jim Palmer. Gary Nolan's got a little bit of pop to him, I think. No, he doesn't. He does walk some though. Let's see what happens. That's a 9-13. That is going to be a strikeout for Gary Nolan, and 2 strikeouts in the inning. And Jim Palmer, 9 up, 9 down here in game number 7. That brings up Frank Robinson, top of the 3rd inning. Do I say it? Do I say it after 3 complete? No hits so far. And Cincinnati's bats have died since game number 3. And I know Karkrotz is not happy about that, as he's a Cincinnati fan, or at least he seemed like a Cincinnati fan. That's a 7 against the right-hander, so it's coming off of Nolan's card. 52 is an out. That's an RP of 37. RP 37 is a G5. So G5, that brings up Paul Blair. Paul Blair got himself a ground ball to 3rd, his first time up in the 2nd inning. That's a 6 against the right-hander, so it's coming off of Nolan. 76 is an out. Out of RN. RN 88, that would be an F9. So 2 up, 2 down for Brooks Robinson. Kirkrod says he's a Phillies fan. They still don't like the Orioles due to 1983. Ah, there we go. So he's rooting against a team, not for a team. All right, so we got Brooks Robinson, Gary Nolan here. That's an 8. 8 is coming off of Brooks Robinson. 14 against the right-hander is a single. So Brooks Robinson with a single into left field. Not very good stealer there. That brings up Davey Johnson. That's a 7 against the righty, so it's coming off of Nolan's card. 43 is a walk. So we've got a few color codes we need to make here. So a single is a yellow, and a walk is an orange. So third walk issued, well, one of them was an intentional walk, though. So 2-away here, and they got the same situation they had in the 2nd inning. 2 runners on. Do you load the bases to get to Jim Palmer? Oh, boy. Karkrot says, not that I hold a grudge or anything. Do you load the bases to get to Jim Palmer? They're going to do it. They're going to intentionally walk him again. And that is going to load the bases, but bring up the pitcher. So actually, intentional walks, I'm going to make a slightly darker orange. There we go. So they're intentional walk. So coming up is Jim Palmer. 2-away here, bases loaded. The home crowd on the edge of their seats thinking, what are the Reds doing? But if they can get out of this inning again, let's see. That's an 11. 11 means you go to the PB ratings. Pitchers don't have PB ratings. So, like, if we look at, say, Dave Concepcion, you see down here, down at the bottom, it's the BD rating. You look at the BD ratings. That's their clutch batting. Pitchers don't have clutch batting. So, fortunately for them, but it's still an 11, so you get off of Palmer's card, and it's a 45, which is a strikeout. So once again, gutsy move by Cincinnati. One of these times it could come back to bite them, but so far their strategy has worked. Get to Palmer and let Palmer hit, because they know they're going to try and keep Palmer in as long as they can. So, after a 3.5, we got a 1-0 ball game. Due up, Pete Rose against Jim Palmer. 9 up, 9 down so far. Pete Rose struck out against Palmer in the 1st inning. That's a 7 against. He is going to bat left-handed, so it's coming off of Palmer's card. 61 is an out. Palmer against the right-handers an LN. LN of 15 is an F2. So pops it up behind the plate. Oop, F2. Pops it up behind. I did not mean to do that. Okay, do that. Pops it up behind the plate. Throwing off his mask. Etchenbaron waits on it. Falls into his glove. Makes the catch. One away. Bobby Tolan against Jim Palmer. That is a 7 against the lefty, so it's coming off of Palmer. 54 is an out. 54, and he is an LN of 73. That is an F8. And that brings up Tony Perez, who's been probably Cincinnati's best hitter. Let's see if he can get things rolling here. That's a 7 against the righty, so off of Palmer's card. 24 is going to be a G6. And 1, 2, 3. I know I said that before. After 4, Palmer walks back into the dugout, getting high fives from everyone. Whew, that brings up Merv Rentenmund. Here we go. Merv is 1 for 2 with a double in the 3rd inning. That's a 12, another clutch defensive check. 64 will tell us it is 64 is going to be the center fielder. That's Bobby Tolan. He's got a CD of 3. Let's see if another good defensive play by Cincinnati. That is a 24 on the 3 column. Is great catch of a sinking line drive. Runners hold. So it's just an F8. Good defensive catch there by Bobby Tolan. Both teams' defensive showed up today, that is for sure. Mark Bellinger, the shortstop, 0 for 2. A couple fly balls. That's a 10 is coming off of Bellinger. 87, though, is an out. He's an RN of 12. RN 12 is a G1. So Nolan reaches up, grabs this one before it reaches center field, and stops that from being a base hit. That brings up Boog Powell. Struck out in the 1st, grounder to 1st in the 3rd. Palmer is rocking, Ken Castro says. They agree, totally rocking. That is a 9, so it's coming off of Powell. 82, though, is too high. That's an out. He's a left-handed power hitter. LP 56 is a G6. So G6. So I have to say, Gary Nolan is matching Palmer just about step by step. If it wasn't for that one triple by Frank Robinson. All right, that brings up Johnny Bench. Johnny, show me the money, Johnny. Against Palmer, here we go. That's a 3 against the righty, so that is not off of Palmer's card as he's a 4 to 7. That is a 3, so it's coming off of Bench's card. 47 against the right-hander is a strikeout for Johnny Bench. 47 is a strikeout. So another strikeout for Palmer. That brings up Lee May. That's his 4th strikeout of the game so far. Lee May. And we got doubles on the random number, which means we'll be checking for an error. That's an 8, so it's coming off of Lee May. And 11. 11 is an infield hit. So on the infield hit, we roll a 6-sided dice to determine which player needs to take the error check. We'll look at the first 6-sided dice that comes up. Actually, it's player number 6, so it's a shortstop. So it's an infield hit to the shortstop. Let's see if the throw is wide. Shortstop is Mark Bellinger. He has got an error rating of E3. E3 means 11 to 34 is an error. And it's a 41. So no error on the play, but the no-hit streak is gone as Lee May hits it. Great diving stop by Bellinger at short. Gets up, throws it to first. Not in time as Lee May hustles down the line and gets in there safe. And the shutout is gone, or the no-hitter is gone. Well, that might actually be a good thing, though, as Cartgrot says he's dang it, I got to go. We'll definitely check it out later for the results. Go Reds. Thanks, Cartgrots, for coming in today. Appreciate it. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you guys, or see you later, sir. So the no-hitter is gone here in the 5th inning, but that might actually be good for Palmer. Settle down. He doesn't have to worry about getting a no-hitter now. Okay, let's just settle down and pitch the game, you know? So, actually, let's look at Lee May. He is a D-stealer. He's not going anywhere, but Hal McRae is a bad sacrificer. So, they're just going to let Hal McRae hit. Let's see what happens. That's a 5, so it's coming off of Palmer's card. 48 against the right-hander. 48 is an out. What kind of out is it? Hal McRae is an RP of 77. That's an F8 for the second out of the inning. Brings up Tommy Helms. Tommy Helms only batted .237, only had 1 home run in the regular season. That's a 5, so it's coming off of Palmer's card. 85 is an out, and he gets out of the inning. So the one blemish there, 84 against the RN. 84 is an F9. So they do pick up their first hit of the game, but after 5 complete, still 1-0 Baltimore. That brings up Frank Robinson, Gary Nolan matching Jim Palmer pitch for pitch. That is a 9 off of Frank Robinson. 76 is too high. That will be an out. RP of 78. That's an F8. So Frank Robinson gives one a ride into center field. Not far enough. Paul Blair 0 for 2 on the day. And it's a 6 against the righty, so it's coming off of Nolan's card. 25 is a G6. Two-way quickly here in the top of the 6 for Nolan. And that is a 4 against the righty, so it is coming off of Nolan's card. It's a 16. 16 is a single into center field, and Brooks Robinson, continuing his hot streak, gets a single for Davey Johnson. Two-way here in the 6th inning. Could we have the same situation we had in the 2nd inning and the 4th inning? Let's find out. That is a 9 coming off of Davey Johnson. 53 against the right-hander. 53 is an out. Just barely an out. 52 or less would have been a hit for him. What kind of out is it? It's an RN of 83. RN of 83 is an F9. And that is going to end the inning. 1 hit, no runs, no errors so far. That brings up Dave Concepcion. Concepcion versus Palmer, giving up that hit in the 5th inning. That's a 5 against the righty, so off of Palmer's card. 86 is too high. That's going to be an out. RN of 68. That's an F7. And that brings up, oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot to add his card. So Nolan, Palmer, these 2 cards here on the side. Gary Nolan almost got himself a hit last time. Let's see. That's a 4, 85. That's going to be an out against Gary Nolan. Let's find out what kind of out it is. He's a pitcher 18. That's an F2. Little dribbler in front of the plate. Stepping out is Etchenberry. Oops. No, actually, it is an F2, so it's a pop-up. Etchenberry throws off his mask, steps about 10 paces behind home plate, waits for it to come down, gets it before it goes in foul territory. 2 away for Pete Rose. Pete Rose is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop-up to Etchenberry. 4 against the lefty is going to be off of Palmer. 73 is going to be an out. Against the righties, an LN of 78. LN 78. That's an F8. And another 1-2-3 inning for Palmer. He is pitching a gem here today in Riverfront Stadium. We have 56,792 in attendance, and they are witnessing a pitching performance here for game number 7. All right, that brings up Andy Etchenberry looking to get a hit off of Gary Nolan. That's a 5, so it's coming off of Nolan's card. 27 is, just barely a G6. So a G6, 1 away. Brings up Palmer. Do they blink and get rid of Palmer? I don't think so. They're going to let him continue pitching. 8, that's coming off of Palmer's card. 27 is a strikeout. So he's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts on the day, but he's not meant to do much hitting. All right, Merv Rentenmund here. Nice pitcher's duel, says Beatles. I agree. It makes the game flow fast when there's no pesky base runners or anything. So 10, this is off of Rentenmund. And he's got a 42 off the right-hander. 42 is a deep ball. Uh-oh. It is going. It's going. How far does it roll? Let's bring up the chart here. Bring this over here. We are in a Riverfront Stadium, 1970. So we're going to be using the deep fly. And let's find out. Merv Rentenmund gets under one. Let's see how far it goes. It's going. It's going. It is a 15. Riverfront Stadium 15, 1970. Going, gone. Merv Rentenmund knocks one out into left field. 362 feet, and that is a solo home run for the Orioles, and they take a 2-0 lead here as Gary Nolan leaves a curveball up in the plate. Merv Rentenmund gets around on that one. Opposite field shot. No, I'm sorry. That would not be an opposite field shot if it was if it went into left field. My bad. But anyways, that brings us to Mark Bellinger. That is a 7 against the righty. 45 is an out. That's going to end the inning. What kind of out is it? He's an RN of 34. And that's a G5. And that's going to be 1 run off of 1 hit. And we're going into the bottom of the 7th inning. 2-0 Baltimore. Everyone, say it with me now. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. I won't sing anymore because people will be leaving really quickly. All right, so there we go. Bobby Tolan, 0 for 2, liner to the pitcher, and pop out to the center fielder, Paul Blaird. Let's see if Jim Palmer can continue his... I should have stayed silent. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see if he can continue his masterful pitching performance. That's a 938. So this is coming off of Tolan's card. 38 against a right-hander. 38. 38's going, and Bobby Tolan's got a hold of one. Let's find out. Bobby Tolan, bring this chart back over for y'all to watch. Bobby Tolan, Palmer leads a fastball down the middle. Here he goes. That's a 37, Riverfront Stadium, 37, gone. Bobby Tolan, 16 home runs in the regular season, cranks one out. And just like that, the hometown crowd is back into this, as a lot of murmuring was starting there. And Jim Palmer showing a little crack in his armor, as he's now given up the home run to Bobby Tolan. That brings up Tony Perez. Tony Perez versus Jim Palmer. And the crowd's going crazy, inspiring the team now. That is a 647 against the right-hander. Is an out. What kind of out is it? He is an RP of 44. That's an F5. Fly out. Oop, that's not an F5. There we go. That brings up Johnny Bench, who gets a big standing ovation from the crowd. Everyone off of their seats now, as it's a 2-1 ball game in the bottom of the 7th inning. Johnny Bench could tie this up with one swing of the bat. Here we go. That's a 7 against the righties. Coming off of Palmer, 63 is an out. What kind of out is it? It is a 21 for an RPer, is a G4. So 2 away. That brings up Lee May. Lee May's hit a home run, I believe, in game number 5. That's a 7 against the righty, so it's off of Palmer's card. 71 is too high. It's an out RP of 55. That is a G6. So after giving up the long ball, Jim Palmer settles down, gets out of the inning. But we got us a ball game going into the 8th inning. Both pitchers showing no signs of weakening here, as Gary Nolan starts with 15. He loses 1 for the hit, 1 for the run. So it's 1, 2, 3 for the walk, 4, 5, 6, 7. You don't take away for intentional walks. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I believe you lose 1 for every inning you starting in the 7th inning, or is it the 6th inning? Let me check the rules really quickly. Do I have the rule book here? I have to get the rule book. Hang on a second. The rule book. So some of you that just joined us, we talked about this earlier in this live stream. I'm going to just mention this once again for those of you who just joined us. Ken Castro, Clark Rotz, and anyone else out there that's watching. If you go to Status Pro Baseball Advance, if you subscribe to their channel, first of all, it's a really good channel. It's run by Derek. What was his name? Derek. Sorry, drawing a blank. Derek Beckner. Sorry. And does a really good job updating. Anyways, if you subscribe, which I highly recommend you do, there's a files section where you can download all kinds of Status Pro Baseball files, charts, rules, different teams. You can actually download the if you go to this Rules 2013 zip, you can get all the charts. You can get the 1970 file that I'm using to actually play the 1970 World Series for yourself if you don't like the outcome of this. Derek Breckner, that's right. Beatles Eternally knows Derek Breckner. Worked with him at Penn State University. He is a baseball nut and does a great job. So highly recommend, if you like Status Pro Baseball System and all, join their web page or their Facebook page. Become a member, and then you'll have access to a whole bunch of files. Not only that, like I said, he's always posting questions for people to, what should we do about this chart? Or, does this chart need updated? Or, if people have questions, he's always there answering. Here's some other players here come up with a ballpark card for 1980 National League, so I can download that file, and now I have the 1980 National League ballparks. Just download it. Bloop. There. Let's open it. And oh, look at these cards. Wow, this is fancy dancy stuff here. Look at that. Wow, you got a little picture, and you have all the stat information for the 1980 different teams. Wow, wow, wow. I love it. Great job. I'm going to have to save that bad boy. Save as. Let's save that bad boy. Choose a different folder. Thank you. We want baseball. We want status pro. There we go. Save it. Now I've got it. Got it. If you don't have it, you should get it, right? Okay, go away. I don't want I want just a normal everyday screen. I don't want your stupid thank you. Okay. All right, so that is all that stuff. Plus, it has lots of links to other. Here's sports simulation and replay. You can join that group. It keeps you in the loop. If you're not in the loop, you're out of the loop, right? So what was I doing before all this happened? Jeez Louise. Let's see. We are going into the 8th inning. Pitchers. Oh, yes. We were calculating his pitcher. I was checking the rule book. That's all that because I was checking the rule book. And this is all the files you get inside that 2013 rule set. You get the ball charts. You get the base running, base stealing, the CD chart, the different fields, the dice conversion chart, all kinds of stuff. Also, you got the rules, right? Yes. So now I just need to check on the rule because I'm not 100% sure about that. Blah, 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 blah. Runners, advancement, checking for errors, infield positioning, stolen base, sacrifice, defensive option, play chart. What am I looking for? I can't even remember. Pitcher reduction. Thank you. All right, so here it is. Right here is the all-important rule. Bloop, right there, I highlighted. A starting pitcher will have his SR reduced by 1 for each inning he starts, beginning with the 6th inning. That's what I wasn't sure if it was the 6th or the 7th inning. Now I know. So if we calculate Gary Nolan, he has a 15 SR. He loses 1 for every hit, 1 for every run scored, and every walk. So that's 1, 2, 3. We don't count intentional walks. 4, 5, 6, and then 1 for starting it. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So and now 12 because he's starting the 8th inning. So he's at 12. So he'll have 3 remaining. So 15 minus 12 is 3. So he's got 3 left. So if he gives up a hit or so, he's probably going to have to be taken out. He might be able to go into the 9th inning. We'll see. We'll see. Let's not get ahead of ourselves there, Cowboys. Let's not do it. You get ahead of yourself, you could run into problems here. Slide this back over. I repositioned all of my things here to show you that. So now I got to reposition it over here on my other screen. Thanks for being patient. God bless you all. Hope everyone's having a great day. We are game number 7, a 2-1 score here. Going into the 8th inning, no more delay. Here we go as Bog Powell is up. He was the hero of game number 6, I think it was, with his 2-run shot, 2-run home run. Let's see what he can do against Gary Nolan this time. That's a 10-16. That's going to come off of his card, and that's going to be a single for Bog Powell to start things off in the 8th inning, and that is not what you wanted to see if you're a Reds fan. That is not what you want to see, because that's going to drop him down to 2 remaining, which means he cannot come out for the well, depends on what happens. We'll see. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. You know what happens when I say when you get ahead of yourselves. So let's look at this. Bong Powell, he's got a base stealing of D. Not very good. Look at Frank Robinson. His sacrifice is the worst in the game. So we're not running and we're not stealing and we're not butting. What are we going to do? We're going to swing. Frank Robinson's up there to send this ball over the fence. Let's see if he can do it. He does have a triple on the day. That's a 7 against the righty, so that is Nolan. 65 is an out. He's an RP out of 51. RP 51 is a G6X with runner on first. G6X runner on first. That is a 6-4, and the batter makes it to first. So it's a fielder's choice as he gets to first base, and he is out at second. So Frank Robinson gets on first. That is not considered a hit. But Bog Powell is retired at second on the 6-3 play. Let's go 6-4. 6-4. Nope, I don't like that. I'm going to have to just continue what I was doing because I'll get confused. That was not a single, by the way. That was a fielder's choice going to first. There we go. All right. That brings up Paul Blair. So Ken Castro says, okay, thus far facing another long day of satisfying clients and off to Vermont tomorrow for comfort food. Well, I hope your day goes well, Ken. I do. And have a good time in Vermont. At least you'll know who won the 1970 World Series when you go to Vermont, right? Because I'm sure that'll be weighing on your mind about, oh my gosh, I got to go back. I got to watch ID Jester's channel. I got to find out who won that game number 7. Here it is. 5-1 is a 6, so it's coming off Nolan. 38 against the right-hander. 3-8. 3-8 is a strikeout. Haven't seen one of those for a while. That is the second out. That brings up Brooks Robinson, who is 2 for 3 with 2 singles. Here's the pitch, the windup. Here it comes. 8, so it's coming off of Robinson. 67 against the righties. Too high, though. He's out. What kind of out is it? He's an RP of 33. RP 33 is a G5. G5. So the leadoff single goes nowhere. And we go in the bottom of the 8th inning. Still 2-1 ball game. 2 up. Hal McRae, Tommy Helms, and Dave Concepcion. Depending on if any of those get on base, they'll probably be pinch hitting for Gary Nolan. But again, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Let's look at Nolan's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. If he came out in the 9th inning, it would be 14, so he'd have 1 point left if he came out. So just keep that in mind. All right, here we go. Let's get Hal McRae's card out here so everybody can see it. Hal McRae versus Jim Palmer. Hang on, no roll. Let's count up Palmer. He's got a 17 SR, and he's only given up 1 hit, 1 for starting the 6th inning. That's 2. 1 for starting the 7th inning. That's 3. The hit and the run, that's 4, 5. And coming out for the 8th inning, that is only 6. So he's got 11 left. So he can definitely go 9 if he needs be. Hang on, I got to sneeze. Hang on. I did get my microphone way away from that because I didn't want to blow out your guys' eardrums. Woo, that sneeze came on quick, though. All right, Hal McRae, Jim Palmer. Jim Palmer might be going the distance today. We'll find out. That's a 5 off of Palmer's card. 73 is an out. Hal McRae is an RP. LP of 85. RP of 85. That is going to be an F9. Tommy Helms. Tommy Helms. That's a 7 against the right-hander. So it's coming off of Palmer. 54 is an out. RN out of 64. RN 64 is an F7. That brings up Concepcion. Two-way here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Some murmuring starting in the stadium again. That's a 5 against the righty, so off of Palmer, 32 off of Palmer is a strikeout. And Palmer gets him on the strikeout. That is number 5 on the day. No runs, no hits, no errors, and we go into the top of the 9th. Due up, Davey Johnson, Andy Etchenberry, and Jim Palmer, the bottom third of the order. Now we have to decide what we do for Gary Nolan. Gary Nolan's day is done. He pitched a hell of a game. He pitched 8 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs. Not a bad outing at all. I mean, could be MVP if it was not for the pitcher on the Baltimore team at this point. But Gary Nolan's day is done. That means we need some replacements. And I have to find his card. It is Clay Carroll. So coming into pitch, Clay Carroll, insert. Gets a standing ovation from the hometown crowd as Gary Nolan walks to the dugout, kind of holding his head, but gives a big wave to the crowd, knowing that, yes, he did have a good outing, just was not as good as his competitor at this point. Clay Carroll's coming in to pitch the 9th. He is a pitcher, and he will be facing off against Davey Johnson. I like to color code when the pitcher comes in with the spot the first batter they face, so I can know quick and easily. So we're going to color code these as purple, since we don't use purple for anything else. So Clay Carroll is going to come in. He's going to face off against Davey Johnson here. Closer trying to shut out Baltimore to give Cincinnati a chance. So it comes down to the all-important roll on the ballpark check. Here we go, ballpark check. Riverfront Stadium, 1970. What kind of day is Clay Carroll going to have? 73, that I believe is normal. Yep, up to 78 is normal. So just a normal outing, which is good. I'm really hoping that nobody gets an advantage or disadvantage, because I hate for the series to be won or lost on something as simple as like a pitcher's ratings getting adjusted because of that rule. Like I said, I understand the rule. I think it's good in that it brings some variety. So when you face Clay Carroll, you might get him on a good day, you might get him on a bad day, or you might get him on a normal day. I like that fact. The only thing is with the World Series game number 7, if he comes in and rolls like crap, that would be just horrible to give a team an advantage like that. So, anyways, I would feel bad. All right, so Davey Johnson is up against Clay Carroll. Davey Johnson has been walked twice today. Walked twice. That is a 7 against a right-hander. And a 37 is a strikeout. Strike him out. And got to put the cap locks back on. Strike him out. That is 2, 4, 6 strikeout for Cincinnati. Andy Etchenberg, who has been intentionally walked twice. Fantastic game, says Ken Castro. Beatles eternally. Great game thus far. Here we go. I'm glad it ended up being a good game for you guys. Really, I was thinking that we're gonna end up having like Game 7 that happened in real life, where it was like 5-0 in like the first inning and game over right off the bat. I was really hoping that that would not happen. So we've been fortunate so far. It's off of Clay Carroll's card. It's a 72. That is an out. Etchenberg is an RP of 41. Let's go back to our RP of 41. That's an L5. And coming up to the plate, Jim Palmer. He's going for the complete game as he's winging. Down on strikeouts 3 times today. As an 8 against the right-hander, that's off of Carroll's card. 57 is an out. What kind of out? At least Palmer got a hold of one here. Let's see where he hit it. He hit it 288. He hits it deep, deep, going back up against the wall, making the leaping catch is 88. That would be the right fielder, Pete Rose, reaching up as Jim Palmer almost cranks one out on the deep fly ball to right field. He has got massive adrenaline rolling right now as he almost puts that one over the fence, but Pete Rose making a spectacular play in right field, robbing him of a home run, keeping the Reds' season alive. And Clay Carroll's day is done as we have us a pinch hitter coming in to face off against Jim Palmer. What a play there by Pete Rose. All right, who are they going to bring in to face off against Palmer? That's going to be a good question. Let's see our choices here. He's good against right-handers, 277 average. We need somebody with a little bit of pop. Here we go. Bernie Carbo. Yes, he came in yesterday, pinch hit in the 9th inning, got a single. So Bernie Carbo, as he walks to the plate here in the bottom of the 9th inning, the crowd is going crazy. He's coming in the 9th inning. Bernie Carbo could tie this game up with one swing of the bat. Jim Palmer, here we go. Palmer, with all that adrenaline from almost hitting a home run in the top of the 9th inning. Oh, wait a minute. No roll, no roll. We have to get this all organized. That's a 0 up there. All right. Anyone joining us might see that and go, wait a minute. What's going on? Here we go. Here it comes. Hang on. No roll, no roll. As his name got taken off there. Bernie Carbo. Coming in the 9th. There we go. All right, so here we go. Now we're in the 9th. Bernie Carbo versus Jim Palmer. Here we go. Now I'm set. The windup in the pitch. Here comes Palmer. Strike 1 on the outside corner. Second pitch. Low and inside. Ball 1. Third pitch. Here he comes. And Carbo with the swing. That is a 3 against the left-hander. That is going to be off of Palmer's card. Interesting enough, if he was a right-hander, that would have been off of the batter's card. A 3, interesting result. So a 3 against the right-handers is 17. 17 is a single, and Bernie Carbo did it again. He got himself a single and gets things rolling for the Reds. Singles off of Palmer to start up. That's in the wrong goddamn spot. Hang on. Paste it over there. Should be there. Sorry. And now I got to get rid of that. And that means, you know what that means. We're going to insert a cell, and I'm actually going to insert another cell because this one's got to move up. Bernie Carbo gets the big hit. And now, there we go. And we got to get rid of this as well. Bernie Carbo is going to be pinch run for by, let's see, do they have someone with some speed that can steal a base? Let's see. We got to find, oh, Jimmy Stewart, AA minus. Jimmy Stewart's coming in to pinch run for Bernie Carbo. Jimmy Stewart. And he's coming in. He was a pinch hitter. He is a pinch runner. He's coming in to pinch run in the ninth inning. And you know what he's there to do? He is there to steal. Come on. Bracket 9, bracket. Thank you. We got people waiting on us here. So Jimmy Stewart's coming in. AA minus. He's going to be taking off on the pitch, and this is probably the season for Cincinnati if he gets thrown out. Now, if somebody disagree with my strategy, let me know in the chat, but I think Cincinnati's best bet is not trying to get hits off of Palmer, but trying to get a run, manufacture a run, and I closed the wrong chart. Apologize. Give me a second. We need the base stealing chart. Here it is. All right. Let's see. Let's check out the chat here. Beatles Eternally says, oh my God, seriously, you can't believe this. When I was 11, I knew who King Kelly was. Kids these days. I don't know if Madlock or indeed any history of the game. You're not a fan. You're right, Beats. Really read my text in grade school as reading about Hall of Famers under the sheets at bed at night because my parents thought I was sleeping. Good job, Ken Castro. Beatles Eternally says, ha ha ha, same here. What happened? I thought of you and Jerry at once. There we go. All right, so Beatles Eternally agrees with my strategy at least. So here it is. This is probably, if he gets thrown out, but I mean, you got to try, right? So Jimmy Stewart's an AA minus, 11 to 38. It's going to be a stolen base and an error. So that's a pretty good shot. The pitcher, Palmer's a B. So that would be his column there. And the catcher is Etchenberry, and he is also a B. So right down the middle, the pitcher and the catcher are average. And we got a good base runner. So here we go. This is it. Might be ball game as Jimmy Stewart tries to go from first to second. First pitch high and inside. Ball one. No run on the play. Second one, fastball down the middle. 1-1 is the count. Third pitch, Jimmy Stewart's off. Here he goes. He's going into second. Slides head first. 27. AA minus 27 is safe. And a possible error. Runners steals the base if the catcher's E rating is on the next fast action card error range. The runner is going to take an extra base on an E2. We do errors on the random roll anytime there's a double. So we're going to roll, and if we get a double, it's an error on Etchenberry on the throw. That's a 1-6. So no error on the play, but that is a stolen base for Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy Stewart's OBR rating is a B. So we'll need that later on. And going to stolen base on second as I'm going to put in PH for or PR for pinch runner there. And then down on the pinch runner, he is a stolen base. All right, so nobody out. Runner on second for Pete Rose. Oops, I actually gotta close his card. There we go. So Pete Rose is up. Runner on second. Could we have extra innings? This is incredible. Is there a hold rating in this game? No, there is a hold rating if you look at the the pitchers. So you can see Ben Palmer is a B minus, Clay Carroll is an A minus. So they are hold ratings, but you only look at the hold ratings when you use the base stealing chart. So one of three things will happen on the base stealing chart. You'll either check the um, speed of the runner, which is this top part up here. You'll use this, or you'll use the hold rating of the pitcher, or you'll use the throwing of the catcher. So one of those three things will happen on it. So not only do you have to take into consideration the runner's speed, but you also have to take into consideration the pitcher's hold rating and the catcher's throw rating. Like Johnny Bench is a TA plus. So that means every time he's going to throw somebody out, but his rating it only happens when you roll a 71 to 88. And he has thrown out quite a few people trying to steal on him in this series. I think I can think of at least 3 times because you have to take that into consideration. Anyways, we are in Pete Rose. If you're a Reds fan, this could be it for one big swing of the. Oh, no problem, Ken. One big swing of the bat, and this series could be over. The crowd is on their feet. Nobody out. Runner on second. They have a meeting on the mound. They're pointing at one another, checking their defense. They are playing standard defense. Pete Rose looks at a pitch. Ball 1. Looks at another pitch. Ball 2. And next pitch comes in. He swings. It's a 6. So Pete Rose is going to be a lefty since he's facing a right-hander. A 6 against a right-hander is off of Palmer. Palmer 71. That is an out with the runner at second. Now this is important to find out what kind of out it is with the runner on second. If he can advance the runner over, he is an LN against right-handers, and it's a 27. So that's a G4 with a runner on second, and he advances the runner from second to third. G4, good play by Pete Rose. Sacrifices himself to get the runner over to third with only 1 out. Tying run on 90 feet away as Bobby Tolan steps in. Again, a meeting on the mound. Stephen Conrad, hello. You've run into the best time of the game here. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning. 1 away. 2-1 Baltimore. Runner on third. That is Jimmy Stewart, who pinch ran after Bernie Carbo came in and got a single. 1 away here for Bobby Tolan. Runner on third. Now you have to decide as the defense. Are you playing in or are you playing back? I am going to play in. I'm going to play in and try and gun down the runner if he breaks for home. There can be some defensive issues with that. We will see. All right, runner on third. Defense playing at the edge of the grass. The windup in the pitch by Palmer. Here it comes. Strike 1. Another pitch. Strike 2. 0-2 on Bobby Tolan. He might be swinging out of the zone. Let's see what happens. That is a 3 against the lefty. Again, because it's a 3, it's coming off of Palmer's card. Against the left-hander. That is an 83, though. That is an out. What kind of out is it? This could be big. Bobby Tolan is an LN. Normal power. Lefty normal. He rolls a 21. Uh-oh, that might not be good. Lefty normal. 21 is a GX3. I'll bring this chart over so you guys can see. He's a lefty with normal power. He rolled a 21. That's a GX3. Runner on third. Oh, here we go. We got the defensive option. Oh, boy. Here it comes. The whole World Series comes down to this. Because the defense is playing in, they have an option. They can take the out at first, give up the run, or they go to the defensive option chart. which happens to be somewhere around here. Where is the damn chart? Hello? That's not it. Here it is, defensive option chart. Down here in the corner. Whew, what a game. What a game. I have to remember where the hell he hit the damn ball to. He hit it to G. It was a 20. It was a 21. That's what he rolled. A 21. Actually, did I do that wrong? Hang on, let me check this. He's an LN 21. Oh, I looked at the wrong GX3. Yep, oh, I looked at the wrong spot. I'm sorry, it is not GX3 21LN. Okay, is right there. With the runner at third and the defense in, the run holds. If he would have been an LP, that's a left-hander with power, then it would have been on the defensive option chart. It's a good thing I double-checked that. He is an L. Oops, let's go back. Bobby Tolan is an LN. So normal power, not. It would be LP. It would be a left-hander with power. He's just normal power, LN, against right-handers. So he's an LN. He rolled a 21. Oh my gosh, I thought we had something there, but 21 LN is going to be a GX3. Trying to get this highlighted for you guys. There we go. So on the third in, because the defense is playing in, it's an out and no advancement. You see in the brackets, it shows you the advancement. It shows you the advancement of the runners. So no advancement. Like this one here, if we would have used this result, it'd have been a 1-3 put out, and the runner from third would go home. You can see there's no advancement there. Now, if the defense was playing back on the same result here, oops, let's get these two highlighted right there. So good thing they were playing in, because no advancement on the when they play in. But since if they would have been playing back, you can see third to home. So we would have had a tie ball game. So with that, that is a G3 ground out, and right at first base, and that's 2 away. Sorry to get everyone all excited. All right, 2 away, runner at third, 90 feet from home. That brings up Tony Perez, unless they pinch hit for him. He had 40 home runs in the regular season. He batted .317. I really doubt they're going to be pinch hitting for Tony Perez. Jim Palmer, Tony Perez, 1970 World Series comes down to these two gentlemen. Unless, of course, we have a walk or something. Let's find out. Here we go. First pitch comes in. It's a strike. Second pitch comes in. It's a ball. The crowd is on their feet. They're going crazy here. Riverfront Stadium, 1970, October 18th. Here's the pitch, and it is 4-2-7-2. If you're a Baltimore fan, you should play the 4-2-7-2 as the lottery if this is an out. 4-2 is a 6 against a right-hander. So that is going to be a Jim Palmer result, 4-7. That is a 6. 72 on him is an out. What kind of out is it? Is an RP of 54. Oops, I got to get my charts out. RP of 54. And that is a G6A. But that's the third out, so it doesn't matter. And Baltimore storms the field, G6 out, and celebrate on the hill with Jim Palmer throwing their gloves up in the air as the Baltimore Orioles left for dead just a few days ago as Cincinnati jumps out to a 3-0 lead in the World Series, storm all the way back to win. Let's see, we ended up getting one more hit. No runs. stormed all the way back and 4 games beat Cincinnati for the 1970 World Series in Riverfront Stadium. And wow, what a game. Ken Castro, I appreciate you stopping in, checking it out. He says, thanks for the great stream. And IDJ, I really enjoyed it. Beatles Eternally, great, great game. It was a really good game. I'm glad you guys stopped in, Ken Castro, Beatles Eternally, and everyone else. What a game. It came down to the final, and that would have been funny if that one, if I wouldn't have double checked that. I'm glad I did, because that could have been a defensive option where Baltimore has to then decide, do they take the out at first, which they obviously would, and they would try to get the runner out at home. So I'm glad I double checked that. Wow, what a game. It came down to it. If we look at Palmer, he pitched a complete game, 3-hitter, gave up 1 run in 9 innings and only 3 hits. So I am going to vote Palmer as the MVP of the game. As Baltimore, unbelievably, wow, I thought we were going to be done with this series like a week ago, because it was just, Cincinnati was just dominating the games. Baltimore couldn't do anything with their offense. And then all of a sudden it just switched. Boop, and Baltimore started doing everything. And Cincinnati scored 1 run this game. The previous game they scored 0 runs, and the game before that they only scored 1 run. So in the last 3 games of the series they only scored 2 runs. Bobby Tolan with the big home run in the 7th inning to cut the lead to 2-1, but that's all they could muster, as Jim Palmer has a great performance. Wow, what a game. I'm glad you guys stopped in to enjoy it with me. I'm glad you guys were here giving me your thoughts, advice, and comments. Makes it much more interesting when I know people are here. And what a game here, as the 1970 World Series is now complete, October 18th, 1970. Once again, the final score from Riverfront Stadium, the Baltimore Orioles 2, the Cincinnati Reds 1, and Baltimore wins the World Series just like they did in real life, although for Baltimore they only needed 5 games in real life as opposed to 7 games. But ours was much more interesting, as Cincinnati jumped out 3 games to none, and then Baltimore had to win 4 big games in a row, which they did. So, whoo-wee, that was fun. Glad you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully we can bring you guys some more. Again, check out Status Pro if you are a card and dice baseball player. System runs fine. There's fast action cards. You don't need to use the dice version. You just flip up the fast action cards, and they basically tell you everything that we do with the dice. So it's really quick and easy. You can check out, I know Baseball Demos has done some introductions to the system. I know Tabletop Baseball has done a few games as well. I've done a few games, so definitely if you're interested in Status Pro Baseball and you want to see what the fast action cards are like, check out Baseball Demos or Tabletop Baseball, and you can check out that see how that works. It's really good. I like it. I've got a couple seasons cut out, cards and dice myself. I might have to even bring you a card and dice type game. Well, that is it for me. I hope everyone has a great Sunday afternoon. Thank you for stopping in and enjoying some time with me. Once again, final score from Riverfront Stadium, 2-1 Baltimore. They're celebrating and getting their pitchers taken. This will be a World Series that will go down in history as the greatest comeback in World Series history. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. We'll see you guys next time.